Hi, gorgeous people. As always, it's Claire here. If you're new, I'm a makeup artist based in Lagos, Nigeria. So, welcome to the family. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so glad you're tuning in today. Today's tutorial is this stunning, detailed bridal look on my chocolate skin muse. First, I started with carving her eyebrows, and the best trick to this is to start carving from underneath the brow hairs before going to the top. And after that, I cleaned her face with simple micellar water to remove any form of impurities. I also went ahead to use my oil block from Meron Prep and Prime Skin on just her T-zones. I used my moisturizer from Kosari S for hydration all over her face, just except the places where, except her T-zone actually. Then I used my primer. My primer is Rimmel London. So now for the foundation, I mixed Huda Beauty foundation in Mocha, a little bit of gingerbread and Bond Beauty foundation in chai to get both her skin tone and her undertone. Then for her contour, I used Black Purple stick foundation in Carob and Black Walnut. Just in case you're new, contour is simply put is an art of concealing. Basically, the areas you contour in your face are the areas that you want to look slimmer, like your forehead, your chin, your cheeks, your nose, which is what I'm doing currently. So if you ever want to have your face snatched, you cannot miss this step. And oh, before I forget, make sure that your blending is very seamless. The liquid blush I used here is from Beauty by AD, and afterwards I went ahead to use my concealer in Latte. For the inner corners and the outer corners, I made use of butterscotch. The reason is because I just don't want the edges to be overly bright. Another important factor that you should consider when you are doing your contour and highlighting, especially highlighting aspect, is the placement of your concealer towards the outer corners of the eye. That gives your eye a lift, especially when you're blending as well. You have to always blend the same way you applied it. This is so that you don't, eliminate the illusion that you're trying to create. So if you're wondering why I dusted up some of the setting powder before I applied it on the face, it's a very, very important step to take as it helps to avoid a cakey, dry or chalky look. Dusting off excess powder helps the makeup look smooth and skin-like. And I also like to extend my setting powder to the areas where I had applied my blush because it's also in cream form. So it helps me set that part of the face too as well. For the rest of the face, I made use of my Fenty powder in 460 and 440. But before that, I also made use of my Makeup Forever powder. It gives me this very seamless, smooth finish. I use it just underneath the eyes, the areas where I did the highlighting. Then the blush that I used was from B Beauty palettes. It was their orange blush and their coral color blush. Then I went ahead to contour her nose with the Fenty powder too in 460 and a bit of 440. Then I went ahead to set the whole face with 420 Fenty powder. So at this point, I had taken out the band on the frontal lace. It means I had to fill in the areas where the band was on. So I had to use a tiny brush, applied a little bit of foundation, applied my contour, applied my powder, and then I set the whole areas. So I had to go back in with my blush just to intensify what it looked like because the powder had taken it out. A very important thing that you should always do is to lock in every step of your makeup with certain that
Spray.
way it will last long. Here I'm taming the brows with my brow tamer before I went ahead to start my eyeshadow. Also, I always like to bake the face before I start my eyeshadow, and this because aside the fact that it's helping me intensify the you know illusion I had created on the face, it also helps me to prevent fallouts from staining the face. If you notice, I used a darker shade of powder for the outer corners of her eye and the brighter one for the inner corners of her eye, all the areas where I did the contour, actually the highlight. And this is because I'm also trying to prevent it from being too bright. Now for the lids, I like to use my brow gel in Hega and Esther as my shadow base. This is because I realize that when I use a darker shadow base, my pigments pop more. So yeah, it's also another trick that you will learn. The eyeshadow palette I'm using here is Annie Beauty palette. It's the browns. I'm using the orange eyeshadow and the dark brown. And at some point, just to add more depth, I decided to use the black eyeshadow from Betty Beauty. This is to, like I said, add depth to her eyes and give her that really intensified, contoured eyes. The glitters that I'm using, I can't remember the names, but I'm going to put it in the description box. Afterwards, I went ahead to do her eyebrows. For me brows, I just basically prep the brows, tame it, and just trace it, which is why it's very important for you to cut your brows right. What I used to do the brows was an angle brush and my Hager and Esther brow gel. I also added some dark eyeliner just to intensify the look because I realized that the Hair and Esther brow gel was great, but it just did not give me that very visible brows that I wanted. So I went ahead to mix it with a little bit of my black gel liner. So if you've been watching my YouTube tutorials, you will notice that for my brows, I always like to stroke as against just filling in and shading. For me, stroking the brows gives that near to natural look, but still not very natural. You see that the brows are drawn, but it just looks like, hair strokes, which is so close to what your brow hairs look like. So, in as much as I like to use a brow gel to draw my brows, a lot of the time I like to make use of an eye pencil because I feel like it gives me a more natural finish than the brow gel. And here I'm using a black eye pencil because it gives me that intensified look that I wanted. So now it's time to pop the eyes and put that shine on. The glitter glue that I'm using is from Sylvie Mac, and the glitters I used, I'm going to put the names in the description box. I would always advise you to place less glitter on your lids and build it up later if you think you need more, as against just sticking a huge amount of glitters and dumping in the eyes. Now the eyeliner I'm using here is from Tehila Cosmetics, and I'm using a brush, a little black brush to draw it. It's a disposable brush actually. So now I'm using a dark brown eyeshadow from my Annie Beauty palette to just smudge out the liner I had applied on her eyes. I wanted her waterline to also have this brown or bronzy look. I also smudged out the liner too as well with the black eyeshadow just to reduce how sharp the liner was. So I wanted her cheek to have this bronzy, brownish, an orangey look. And I had to use my eyeshadow because this was the best one I could use at the time. And I had to use my eyeshadow to even prevent the makeup from touching the hair before the hairstylist comes to eat me raw. So the mascara I'm using here is from Zaron. It's their lengthening mascara. Afterwards, I think I went ahead to do her lipstick. I used Pega Esther brow gel and Nubia to line her lip, and then I used Sopro Cosmetics the lipstick. I also used Eye Magic palette. I'm going to put all the names in the description box. Afterwards, I went ahead to do her lashes. Her lashes is from Missmetics, one of the lash palettes. And now it's time to blend, blend, blend. Can you already see what the makeup looks like? It looks flawless. There's no editing on this look, but it's so clean and flawless, which is very important. You don't want your makeup to have different dimensions. This one is looking, this one is looking like this. Meanwhile, I am trying to organize a makeup class, a virtual class, and a physical class in January. So if you want to register, you can start registering now. I'm going to put out the flyer as soon as possible, probably in December. And you can attend this class from anywhere, any part of the world because it's virtual. Then for those who want to do physical classes, I'm also open to that. So send me a DM and we can talk about it. But for my dirty December brides, you guys are going to have fun. You're going to look gorgeous. For my clients as well, there are still a lot of slots open for clients in December, in November, in January before I take a holiday after the work. So hit me up. You can text me on my Instagram. It is Claire's Beauty, CLAIREZ Beauty. It's always in my description in the description box. So that too. The look is finally coming together. I made this video with all of my love, all of my heart. And I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did or as much as I do. I love you and thank you for watching. In case you have not subscribed, you should subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications because we have many more amazing and gorgeous looks to come your way. So don't miss out. And here I'm making use of Danessa Myricks Hot Dewy Wet Balm in hot water. This gives this very glossy, glowy effect on the face that makes it look like the makeup is coming out of the pores. You know that. Well, I'm sure you can see all the things I'm describing. So the highlight I'm using here is from Stila. I'm going to get the name of this particular shade. I'm using it to highlight her brow bone and just the the bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, and just a few areas where I have already done my highlighting in. Also, all the areas where light is possibly going to hit. To be very honest, this video did not even do justice to what this look really looks like, which is why I filmed this one in dark lights, and voila, we are finally done. So stay tuned for the final look.